It is anticipated that many aspirants, after losing, will decide to vie as independents. Not a very common thing in this country, but slowly gaining traction, or is it? We have in studio now Amos Okasida, who's an MP aspirant, I think, for Tongaren. We also have Meshack Kimutai, MP aspirant for Mgwen. Both are independent candidates, although Meshack Kimutai was once a Jubilee Party member. And we also have Johnson Githaka, is a governance analyst, and also who will be joining us in this conversation is Gabriel Mutuma, a political analyst. And I'll start with you, Johnson Githaka. That question. First, do you think it's something that is gaining traction, and what are the chances?
Thank you, Sen, for having me. I think the concept of an independent candidate is still a very new concept in the political terrain of Kenya, because we are used to identifying aspirants with political parties, and even though they actually market themselves as parties. Secondly, Hussein, you realize that most of these political formations are led by politicians with a significant brand recognition. If you look at the two formations, the names that are associated with the leadership are people basically who do not need any introduction. So when you are not part and parcel of those main formations, you suffer distinct disadvantage. The other thing, Hussein, is I'm not very sure that basically the average voter out there really appreciates what is it that an independent candidate stands for. Because people essentially will vote in terms of what is being presented by the party that is sponsoring the candidates, the manifesto, so to speak. Of course, we know the manifestos in most cases are neither here nor there, but they are there. You know, they are supposed to be the rallying point for parties that have sponsored candidates. Okay.
Let me talk to Kimutai then. You have been in Jubilee before.
Yes, Hussein.
Now you're going to vie as an independent. Why? Why did you decide to do that?
Actually, I didn't wait to be rigged out, because I am competing against the cartels in Nandi County.
Because you believe you're going to be rigged out?
Yeah, because I believe I'm going to be rigged out, because a cartel came in, put together their staff, and they had their own candidates. So it's just a predetermined nomination.
Now, because the Jubilee Party National Election Board chairman was here, and I said the process will be free and fair.
The process.
You're entitled to your own opinion and what you believe is going to happen on the ground. But the rider they're not here, so I have to say that. They were here and they've said the process will be free and fair. You don't think that is going to happen?
No, I don't think that's going to happen. Actually, the credibility for Jubilee nominations, according to my view, is 40%. So I fall on the 60%, which is going to be,
That is in.
No, that is in the whole country.
That is what you believe, okay.
Yeah, that is in the whole country.
So you left because you felt the nomination exercise will not be free and fair?
Look, Hussein, the leadership of the party in my county is a cartel of a certain family. They want to place the father as a governor and the son as the MP. So there was no way I was going to win, even if I had the majority of the votes. So the being an independent candidate is going to be an alternative. As much as it's a new thing, voters don't really understand about being an independent candidate, but it's going to be the alternative. I can tell you for a fact, after tomorrow, on tomorrow's nomination, we're going to have a major exodus of aspirants who are going to exit Jubilee and come to vie as independent candidates. We also have forces of darkness. That is, they sit on boardrooms. You've had complaints from Governor Mandago. You've heard from Oscar Sudi. Even in Nandi Hills, we have an issue. Those guys who are not loyal to the deputy president, we have other guys who came up with their lists of preferred candidates. So it's not going to be fair.
That is what you believe. So the reason why, but before that, this just in, the Orange Democratic Movement Party has now postponed primaries for Homa Bay and Migori counties. They were supposed to be held tomorrow, and now they'll be held on Monday. Again, the ODM National Elections Board has postponed the ODM primaries in Homa Bay and Migori counties. They were to be held tomorrow. They'll now be held on Monday. You have to fill it for both Sams, Sam Gituk and Sam Ogina, who are already on the ground in Migori and Homa Bay. But we'll be talking to them and they'll be telling us what the people on the ground feel about the decision by the ODM National Election Board. So, Kimutai, you left Jubilee to vie as an independent because you did not think it will be a democratic process. Is that the reason why you decided to vie as an independent?
Yeah, that is the reason.
That is the reason.
We were being told by the presidency that IBC is going to take care of the nominations, and that was the talk of the town.
Okay.
But at some point, I don't know what happened, and it's not about the IBC anymore. So people are just there to place their own people into positions. So that is not the way we are going to get the right leaders.
Okay, I'll come back to you shortly. Amos Okasida, is an MP aspirant for Tongaren. Amos is also vying as an independent, but he has never been a member of any political party, I assume. That's what you told me.
Sure.
Why are you vying as an independent?
Okay, basically, Hussein, first of all, thanks for having me on the show. And the decision which I chose to vie as an independent candidate, it was based on the views of the people back in Tongaren. You find the ideas as in generally what the perception the people of Tongaren have been having is that we've been in these parties. If at all, they've been in Ford Kenya, they've been, for instance, in Jubilee at the moment, but then they're saying we've not seen anything coming out from these leaders. So what I decided after the discussions with them, it was that we really need an individual, a true leader who is actually going to serve the people of Tongaren. That is when I decided, after weighing options and checking around, I realized that if at all they're not satisfied with whatever is going on in these political parties, then it's rather for them, it will be much better for them that to check for me as an individual, to check my character and to view me as an independent candidate, which will be very easy for them in terms of addressing their issues and also enabling me to serve them as the leader without political issues coming into play.
So you looked at all these political parties. Did you care to look at what they stand for, or is it because you talk about the leaders and the people tell you the leaders have been failing them? Did you care to take a look at what the political parties stand for and whether you're going to bring any change, or you just decided it's about the leaders and I'm not going to be like them?
Okay, I've actually had a keen look into these political parties, but then if you see the way they touch with the local mwananchi, the voter, you find the political parties, they're kind of detached. The issues which they address to some kind of extent, they're kind of benefiting the political parties themselves, but then they're not having a bearing to the local mwananchi. So these are the issues which the people are crying out for, and I decided that as an independent candidate, it will be very easy to address these issues for them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you care, this is a question back to Mesha Kimutai. Kimutai, do you care, because from how you're talking, do you care about what parties, what the party, I mean this cuts across, not only Jubilee, because there's very independent candidates now. Do you care about what these parties stand for, the ideals that these parties stand for, and what you want as an individual? Because from how you're talking, it wasn't really about the principles of the party, neither were they your principles. It's just about you being afraid to be rigged out, and that is why you decided to vie as an independent.
Hussein, I have been a strong member of Jubilee Party. Up to the other day when I presented a request to the Register of Political Parties for me not to be a member of any political party. I've always believed in the ideals of Jubilee, because Jubilee is the most progressive government since independence. So I still uphold the Jubilee Manifesto. I still uphold the Jubilee way of doing things. And my only reason of going as an independent candidate is not about the principles, but it's about the unfairness in the party. Actually, as much as I agree mostly with what's going on in Jubilee, I also don't agree with the corruption that's going on. I don't agree with the high cost of living, and that is where I am at the middle level, whereby I can advocate for something without not being branded as not being loyal
to the party.
Yeah, that's it.
Gabriel Mutuma, is it about, I mean, we're talking about independence, and what has been the best practice worldwide? Is it about going as an independent because you are aggrieved with the party, or because you stand for certain principles?
Hussein, actually, that's a very good question. World over, you've seen people who take the route of being an independent majority of the time, and I'm saying this having actually read or studied a little bit about people who value what you'd call a party that has structures and systems, and not only at that, but they have a core belief of endearing themselves not only to the people but the betterment of a nation. So when you find people who don't share or they share, they partly differ from the ideologies of a party, if this is to say a party has ideologies, and if they differ on modalities, they would rather go independent than just go to a party or a structure that they don't believe in, or necessarily they differ one way or the other. But when you come to a place like Kenya, and I want to believe many parts of Africa, many nations in Africa, the party in itself stands, and like my good friend said, parties, the formation when parties come, the numbers are what speak for themselves. The numbers is what make people, or the popularity of a party is what brings people in, not necessarily the ideologies. And when you have so many parties who half of the people don't know what they believe in, you have people who feel that, you know, these people will not represent what I want, or will not represent my people properly, I'd rather become an independent person. But you have said it very eloquently, Hussein, that an independent candidate, or the word independent, has not caught traction in this country. Justifiably so, because we have not had many independent candidates. The few that we've had, it's only probably one that I can remember on top of my head, and that's somebody like Patrick Musimba of Kibwezi. So that person was very famous. I mean, he floored, if you may recall, he floored a very popular MP in Kibwezi. So when you're running as an independent, I think the common cliche people look at is you must be very popular on the ground, and people must believe in you. Yes, it is always a good way to go if you believe the party does not represent what you believe in. But again, will the people on the ground understand the word independence? Half of the time they feel, or they will think, you're fighting with the party of the day, or you're fighting with a favorite party in that region. But that is not necessarily the case.
What it's supposed to be.
It's not the case. My good friend mentioned something about IEBC coming in, and this is something we need I think we need to bring to the masses. You see, when a party like Jubilee, a coalition like Jubilee, when they said that the party will, the elections will be conducted by IEBC, many people who probably thought that we can have some element of fairness may have jumped into the bandwagon. When IEBC actually took a different stance, you saw even somebody like Samuel Ragwa, who is the current governor of Tharaka Nithi. He realized, he looked at his chances, and he said, you know what, I do not believe, because of what my gentleman has said about cartels and what you have within the party, the man realized, you know what, I may not get a fair chance, and so he bolted. But that is not to bring or nullify the very fact that you are going to have an exodus, like what he has said. I hope it doesn't happen, but chances are you'll have an exodus, Hussein, people leaving not only Jubilee but also other coalitions, Paul Otuoma, so to speak, coming to other to the independents. Because honestly, why people will run to independent right now, Hussein, is because the other avenue of party hopping has been blocked. So you'll have so many candidates jumping to become independent, not necessarily again because they believe on ideologies, because if their parties were there, probably they would have joined any popular party. But because that has been locked, we must now question, are these people who are jumping to independent, are they doing that because there is lack of transparency in one party, or is because there is lack of what you would call an agenda-based ceiling, or an agenda-based platform? So that's something we really need to look at.